Everything kicks off with Dawn, a girl who's always dreamed of studying at the Paris Academy of Art. That morning, she gets the amazing news. She's been accepted for next year. But there's a catch. The letter also says she didn't get the scholarship. With her savings, she can only cover the first year's tuition. Dawn decides not to tell her grandma, Vernie, who she and her sisters, Max and Emily, live with since their mom passed away. So she heads to work with mixed feelings, thrilled about the acceptance, but stressed about the money. A little later, Emily shows up at her job with a wild idea. Enter a dating reality show called Honey Pot, which pays 20 grand just for showing up. Even better, the final casting is this weekend, and the show is supposedly being filmed in Paris. Emily thinks it's the perfect plan. Dawn can get on the show, bow out early, stay in France, and still have enough cash for school. Dawn agrees right away. Emily, a total superfan of the show, fills her in on the details. Honey Pot features a rich bachelor looking for the one. Contestants live in his mansion while he eliminates them one by one until he finds his perfect match. In the finale, the winner must choose between staying with the guy or taking a $250,000 prize. Dawn listens skeptically, convinced no one would actually pick love over that kind of money. Emily digs into past winners and suggests Dawn do the opposite of what they did to get kicked off quickly. Right then, Grandma Verdi, who's overheard everything, walks in and finds out Dawn used part of her savings to pay Verdi's bills. At first, she scolds her, but her heart melts fast and encourages Dawn to chase her art dreams. Dawn and Emily head to the show's audition. Dawn's tryout is awkward and half-hearted, but she doesn't care. That night, they hit a nearby bar to celebrate and unwind. There, Dawn meets a handsome cowboy and sparks fly instantly. They share a ton of common interests, and he even asks her to dance. But the fun gets interrupted when a few jerks start bothering Emily. Dawn jumps in without hesitation, floors one of the guys with a sharp comeback and a shove, and the sisters head home. The next morning, an unexpected call comes in. Dawn made it onto the show. She packs in a rush, says goodbye to her family, and joins the other excited contestants on a flight to Paris. After 9 long hours in the air, the truth drops like a bomb. They never left the States. The filming isn't in France at all, it's in Paris, Texas. Furious, Dawn threatens to quit, but the producers warn her if she walks, she won't see a dime of that $20,000. So, reluctantly, she stays and rides out to the billionaire's ranch with the rest of the women. The contestants settle into their rooms and are told they'll meet the bachelor in just a few hours. Needing some fresh air, Dawn wanders around the property, an area that actually feels kind of familiar since she lives nearby. And then she sees him, the handsome cowboy from the bar. His name? Trey. When he realizes she's one of the contestants, Dawn is stunned to learn Trey is the show's bachelor. She quickly begs him to eliminate her first, still angry and annoyed about the show's bait and switch. But Trey doesn't seem willing to make it that easy. Later, Dawn confides in Rachel, one of the producers, about her real reason for joining the show. Rachel warns her not to tell anyone else because it technically counts as cheating and could get her in legal trouble. She also makes it clear that Trey is the only one who can send her home. So, like it or not, Dawn has no choice but to line up with the rest of the women for her official introduction to the show's leading man. At the mansion, the women all start competing for Trey's attention. But when it's Dawn's turn, it's obvious these two already know each other. The director isn't thrilled about keeping her on at first, but once he sees their spark and playful banter, he realizes it's reality TV gold and lets her stay. After the first day of filming, Trey refuses to cut Dawn, which seriously annoys her. The next morning, she spots him cleaning the stables and, despite herself, feels a flicker of physical attraction that catches her off guard. The contestants face a string of challenges, and the teasing tension between Dawn and Trey only grows. Behind the scenes, she keeps begging him to eliminate her, but Trey, clearly drawn to her, keeps choosing her to stay, driving Dawn absolutely nuts. One night, Dawn confides in her roommate Yasmin about her secret plan. Yasmin mentions that one-on-one dates with Trey come with extra cash, which tempts Dawn to hang in a bit longer for the bonus money. But first, she has to win a challenge. Lexi, a stunning competitor who also has Trey's eye, wins the first round. Trey and Lexi head off on a romantic date, and Dawn secretly trails them. When they're about to kiss, Dawn loses her balance and tumbles into the pool, totally wrecking their moment. Determined to earn her own private date and the cash, Dawn goes all in on the next challenge and nails it, scoring the $10,000 prize. During her one-on-one with Trey, their emotional connection deepens, leaving Dawn more confused than ever. The producers are thrilled. Their chemistry promises big ratings. The next day, for extra drama, the crew pairs Dawn and Lexi together in a team challenge. The plan works. They bicker the whole time while Yasmin quietly wins. In the middle of the chaos, a random alarm startles Trey's horses. He stops filming to calm them, and Dawn, who knows her way around horses, volunteers to help. They share a warm, quiet moment that makes Trey choose her again. Then he announces that the final 2 contestants will join him for the grand finale, this time in the real Paris, France. Lexi, seeing Dawn as serious competition, threatens her. More smitten by the day, Trey sneaks Dawn off for a secret date. They escape to a beautiful spot and finally admit their feelings, sealing it with a first kiss. Meanwhile, Lexi does some digging and discovers Dawn's acceptance to the Paris Academy of Art and figures out her real motive. On their romantic getaway, Trey and Dawn stop by Dawn's house, where Grandma Verdi is stunned to see them. They tell the family everything about the reality show. Everyone quickly picks up on the strong chemistry between them. When Trey steps outside for a moment, Dawn begs her family not to reveal her original plan, but it's too late. Back at the ranch, Lexi privately spills the secret to Trey. Soon after, without knowing why, Dawn is abruptly eliminated. Heartbroken, she heads home, where Verdi and the rest of the family encourage her to follow her art dreams. Dawn immediately leaves for Paris and starts her classes. One day, she bumps into Rachel, one of the show's producers. Rachel explains that Lexi exposed her secret to Trey and caused the elimination. She also shares that the final episode is about to film, and hints that there might still be hope for Dawn and Trey. Rachel invites her to return, but it means giving up the prize money she's already earned. At first, she hesitates, worried about how she'll afford to stay in Paris, but eventually she agrees. During the live finale, she suddenly appears on set, shocking Trey. She apologizes for keeping her plan a secret and confesses she's falling for him, but Trey doesn't believe her and turns her away. Dawn leaves in tears. Then Rachel tells Trey that Dawn forfeited all her winnings just to speak with him. Realizing the truth, Trey rushes after her, catches up, and forgives her. He offers to help with her tuition, but Dawn refuses his money. So Trey steps back in front of the cameras and invites her to officially join the show again. Dawn, now certain about her feelings, chooses love over cash, but the two share a passionate kiss that has the entire crew cheering, except for Lexi and the director, whose grand plan has completely unraveled. In the end, Dawn and Trey walk away as a brand new, happily in love couple.